Well, I went to court. They're talking about adopting my daughter out. Of course, I didn't get to speak again. But I asked them, like, can I have my lawyer's name and number? They're like, ma'am, you need to call your lawyer. I was like, well, I don't know who my lawyer is. And then it automatically went off to another call. I still have not got to reach out to a lawyer, who my lawyer is.
It's a man, Erin Carranza. Erin's usually the co-host on the Saturday night show, and she has her own show on Tuesdays on Facebook and YouTube. Erin, how are you? Can't hear you, Erin.
There, you can hear us?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Hi, we're doing good.
Who's that you have with you?
Who's this? Lola. This is Lola.
Oh, hi, Lola. How are you?
Good. We were just calling to say, hey, calling in. Since I wasn't able to host with you guys today because Lola's home. But I just wanted to let everybody know that there is hope that you do get your children back. Yeah. You can get your children back. I got my child back, so don't give up hope.
Well, Erin, thank you for calling, and we appreciate it. And thank you, Lola. What a beautiful young girl. All right, we're going to move on to our next caller. Our next caller is Diana from Arizona. Diana,
Hi.
Did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
I got both. I called about 3 weeks ago with you, and I spoke to you about that they were terminating my rights with my kids, and that I told you about how, everything that had happened to me and my family, how, I got held hostage, with the people that CPS placed my daughter in. Well, I went to court. They're talking about adopting my daughter out. Of course, I didn't get to speak again. But I asked them, like, can I have my lawyer's name and number? They're like, ma'am, you need to call your lawyer. I was like, well, I don't know who my lawyer is. And then it automatically went off to another call. I still have not got to reach out to a lawyer, who my lawyer is. I can't call in Kingman. I can't call the CPS because they said that I have to be there in person to talk to my caseworker. So it's just like it's been stressful running back and forth, or like trying to get everything together, all the police reports, everything put together. And it's just like, I get worn out because I feel like nobody's listening to me, like I'm holding my breath until my face is blue, trying to tell them the truth and tell them what's going on and to help us. And it's still like nobody helps. Like, I haven't got to see my kids. I got out of prison. I got off parole. I completed my drug test. Everything that I had to do, I completed everything. And I'm still, I want to talk to my little ones, but I can't get a hold of CPS in Kingman because I'm in Phoenix. So I'm praying to God that, honestly, Vince, that one day I get to hire you. That is my goal right now, is to be able to hire you as a lawyer because I need help.
Okay, well, we have to do something right now. Heather, Heather, what do you have to say to your co-Arizonian?
Well, I am so sorry that you have to deal with Arizona Department of Child Safety. It definitely is very difficult, and I came across things just as you did in my case, where they tell you to do one thing but then put up every barrier for you to be able to complete it.
Yeah.
So the number one thing I did in my case is I always just made sure with anything that I followed it up in writing. Hey, I tried to call and I didn't get through, and I'm not able to contact my attorney. And to show that paper trail really helped my case out. So that's something that I would say, if you look at other people's cases and kind of see what works for them, that might be something that benefits you. But the biggest thing, I know how hard it is. You keep hitting those brick walls every time you try. So just to not give up more than anything, and a paper trail can really be beneficial in your favor, because it seems like they don't keep track themselves. So somebody has to. So to be able to use that against what they're doing to you, and show your efforts, I think that's the number one thing to show, and that judges do like to see. They want to see the parents are giving their every effort to try and correct whatever issue is at hand.
And, like I talked to my 7-year-old, and he was telling me his grandpa spanks him, and I don't believe in spanking. I'm against that. And he was like, my grandpa hits me. And I'm like, I told my daughter, I'm like, baby, should we call CPS? And she's like, for what? They don't listen anyways. And it hurts me because, like, when we cried for help when she was in that home, with the drug dealing house and everything, when CPS left her there and we called for help and we even made a police report, everything, nobody believed us, like we were like screaming for help for someone to get us out of that house, so it just was so bad, and it came to the point where, like, I'm like, if I do all this and I go and I get all these reports, that I have all the documents, I have everything, but are they going to listen to me?
They should.
So it's one of.
Go ahead, Heather.
Oh, go ahead, then. I was going to say it's one of those things that it's worth the shot. Everything is worth it because these are your kids. So in my case, it ended up benefiting me. In the end, I ended up reaching dismissal. Not only was I able to reach dismissal, but I put everything together, all of my evidence, and I was able to get it on the record. That way, they're known for coming back around a couple years after you dismiss anyway. So it's good to make sure you have that contesting evidence out there. At least in my case, it was good for me to have that out there. So I would say every effort is worth it, even if that effort gets you to another brick wall, because eventually you break through it. So I wish you the best on it, definitely, but you're definitely in a very difficult position.
Amanda,
and then, like, I'm going to counseling and everything, because of, like, being, held hostage, by that guy and him beating me and everything where my daughter was at. It brings me down a lot, because they want to put me in all kinds of medication, but I don't want to take anything. I'd rather just deal with this with my own mind, but it is traumatic, it's really traumatic. I can imagine what my daughter went through, being in that house, let alone me being tied up and beat and broken ribs and all that, because, he was obsessed, or I don't know what his problem was, but I didn't want him to hurt my daughter. So, I'm fighting a lot of demons, and I'm keeping faith, and I'm praying every day. It's just something, like, it just brings me down. I feel like there's a wall in front of me, and I'm trying so hard to just keep going. I'm trying to show everybody, look, I'm doing good. Like, I'm getting an apartment. We're opening up business. Like, and it's like, I'm not getting anywhere,
Amanda,
I miss my kids. I miss them.
Amanda, did you have any words of wisdom, being a victim of CPS yourself and a mother?
I can't imagine what you're going through. I'm currently going through it myself. I can offer anything. I know this seems, it may seem counterintuitive, but self-care is not selfish. And I used to get that when people told me that, because my children were just literally the center of my universe. And when that was taken away, I couldn't focus on anything else. Like, everything around me really collapsed. But you have to find, like, it's really important to find something.
All right, we're going to take our break now. We're moving into the hour break. We'll be back after the news and after these messages.